Okay guys, welcome in our next webinar. Today we will talk about visas and permits. We will just wait a few minutes that you can join us. Today I'm here with my another colleague.
Hi, my name is Supriya and I work here as marketing and PR.
Yeah, and Supriya is as well foreigner.
Yes. I'm from India and I'm living in Czech Republic since July. And in Europe I would say since 2017.
It's been quite time.
Yes.
So, and we had a lot of questions from as well Indian national.
So we will be answering all your questions, and if you have any question regarding your visa or a residence permit, you can comment down below and we will answer all of them.
Yes. So we'll just check.
We
already have like 13 people, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we can
So
start.
we will start.
Yeah,
Okay.
Starts to have questions.
Okay, so I will start with explanation about all this process, which is I think not easy to anyone. Everyone is confusing visas and permits and what's needed and so on. So I will try to go briefly by one to one. First, there are those lucky guys who has a free entry to Schengen area for 3 months. So you of course know that you don't need any visa, but you're not allowed to work here. You are just tourists. So there is of course the option for you to come and visit. For those who are coming just for tourist visa, just be aware that once you're in the Czech Republic, you are not allowed to apply for any visa or permit inside of the Czech Republic. If you decide to stay here longer, you will as well need to go and apply outside of the Czech Republic at the Czech embassy. Then there is difference between visa and permit. Visa is a stamp in your passport. Permit is a plastic card you are receiving from the Ministry of Interior already. It's not possible to extend visa here in the Czech Republic. If you want to extend your stay after having visa, you're applying directly for long-term permit. You're just keeping your purpose here. For a visa, you are able to apply for a study visa, family visa, or other visa, or business visa. For permits, you can apply for employee card or blue card, for intra-company employee transfer card, then permanent residency for non-European people is card as well. Then if you have family reunification purpose, you're applying here for extension in the Czech Republic as well for a study, or I think these are all the or permits as a plastic ones. For first applying for a long-term visa, you're applying outside of the Czech Republic. At the embassy, you will need to book appointment with the embassy. Be aware that it can take 1, 2, or even 3 months. I don't know how it was when you were trying to get appointment at the embassy.
It was really it's not always easy, of course, and I applied for appointment. First of all, sometimes it's really difficult to have an appointment because they're already taken, so you may have to wait for 1 month or 2, and then you finally get an appointment for an interview. Like sometimes they just you just get in and they just ask you why you want to go. To just normal conversation. They just want to see you in person. And then it may take you 3 days to get your visa, or max 2 months or 3. But yeah, you definitely get your visa. I remember my case. I was told that I will receive in 7 days, but I did not. I received in 14 days. So not bad.
Still good.
Yes.
Okay, so for applying for visa, we'll go really fast through the documents you have to provide for all kind of purposes. You have to provide the application form, which you can find at embassy website. Then you have to provide accommodation document. It means original lease agreement or proof of accommodation, which has to be notarized. Then for sure you will need to provide some bank statement. This amount of money you will need to provide, it's different for each purpose. So it depends if you're going to study here or do business or have family reunification. So you will need to check this. Then, so I'm not forgetting anything, criminal record, that for almost everyone you need to have legalization on it. It means apostille or super legalization, depends on your country. Then you need your passport for sure. You need to have it valid. There are some rules as well for how long it has to be valid from the moment you apply, and for sure you need at least 2-3 empty pages in your passport so they can stamp your visa. You will need for sure 2 passport photos of you. Then there is a fee at the embassy. This one is changing as well, depends on your purpose of your stay. And then the main thing is the proof of your purpose. So it means if you are going to study in the Czech Republic, you will need to provide original acceptation letter from the university. If you are going to do business here in the Czech Republic, you have to provide original trade license from the Czech Republic. If you have a family purpose, then you will need to provide some marriage certificate or birth certificate. And with these documents, you're going to the embassy, you apply, and the ministry has mostly 90 or 120 days to give you results. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. We never know how this works. It's a mystery, I think, for everyone.
Yes.
The process is that you're applying in the embassy, and the embassy is sending all documents here to the Czech Republic, to the Ministry of Interior, immigration offices, and they are taking care of cases. And after they have some results, it's rejection or acceptation, they're sending back to the embassy, and the embassy is giving you information that it was approved or not. Once you receive your the main thing is like if you apply at the embassy, for example, I don't know, in New York, then if it's approved, you have to go to the embassy in New York and get your stamp in your passport. It's not possible to apply at the embassy and come to the Czech Republic and just stay here. You have to go to the embassy and they'll stamp it to your passport. Once you have your visa and it already passed some time and you would like to extend it, you're applying for a long-term permit here directly in the Czech Republic. Depends on the city where you are staying. For this extension, you will need to provide almost the same papers which you provided to the embassy. The difference may be that you don't need your criminal record anymore, but then again depends on your case. If you are doing business, you have to provide some documents that you don't have any debts in social security office or financial office and so on and so on. Or if you are renewing your study permit, like visa to permit, then you're again providing your acceptation letter that you're going to study, so the ministry know that you are still there. I'm thinking there is anything. Yeah, once you're applying here in the Czech Republic at the Ministry of Interior or like Immigration Office, you are able to get appointment 120 days mostly. It as well depends on your purpose. So 120 days before it expires, you can already get appointment at the Immigration Office, which is really good, and we always advise to do it in advance. So you're not going to apply for extension last day of validity. Once you apply, you are mostly getting bridge visa in your passport, which will allow you to stay here in the Czech Republic. and you are just waiting for results from the ministry. Yeah.
Someone said that the voice is not that loud, so okay.
Okay. Sorry if you're not speaking loud enough. I hope it's
No, it's fine. I
it's
hope.
better. Okay. I think I gave all the general information, so maybe we can just go through a question if there is something that I missed, but mostly the question you sent before, they're really specific, so we will try to answer as best as we can. Yeah?
So we have first question. Is Filipino eligible for freelance visa, or which is easier, study visa or freelance visa?
So to give you information about which is the easiest way to come here, for sure, like Filipinos, they're allowed to apply for whichever purpose they need. You just need to have documents for the ministry and embassy which they need. In our experience, to get study visa, it's easier because for a business you need to provide, for example, higher financial in your bank statement, or you need to already have some activities here in the Czech Republic or some future plan, so the ministry can see that you really have to stay here in the Czech Republic, so they are accepting your visas. Yeah.
Next question is for permanent visa and how to bring my wife here and the procedure.
For permanent visa doesn't exist. You can have permanent residency here in the Czech Republic, and you are receiving it after 5 years of permanent stay here in the Czech Republic. About the temporary and permanent residency, there will be another webinar. It will be in January, and my colleague Zuzana will take over. So keep watching us, and we will try to help you with this. And about your wife, if you have some long-term permit here in the Czech Republic, then your wife can of course apply for family reunification at the embassy, because of course you have some marriage certificates, so the ministry will see that you want to just stay together. For these purposes you will need to have the same address the wife or husband has here in the Czech Republic. The wife or husband home needs to have the same proof of accommodation or lease agreement, so the ministry will see that you are going to stay together.
Great. Yeah. When applying for a family reunion type of visa, does husband need present notarized consent on living address from a wife in flat which is in the ownership of a wife? So I think you almost answered this question before.
Yeah, ownership of wife. Well, that's really tricky question. Well, what I said before, if your wife wants to apply for family reunification, it means that if you are staying in your flat, you have to ask the owner to prepare a new lease agreement where will be like your name and your wife as well, or just to prepare proof of accommodation on her name with the same address as you have, signed by the owner as everyone needs.
Next is how to get study visa.
How to get study visa? First, you need to be accepted at university. Once you're accepted in university, it's really easy. You just have to gather all the necessary documents and then just apply at the embassy of your country. Some countries are lucky and they can apply at any Czech embassy, but it's again specific and we are not able to name all the countries. So if you have questions about that, just write us email at info@foreigners.cz and we'll be happy to answer.
If I have applied for visa renewal and during the procedure I change my location to Prague, then how the same will be handled?
If you apply for extension and you change the city, you have for sure informed the Ministry of Interior or Immigration Office that you change your address, because as you know there is a rule that you have to inform them within 30 days. and then they will just send your file from one office to the new one. Yeah.
For student doing medical foundation program at university, where should we renew our long-term study visa? Here in Brno or at our country of residence? Like they're asking, or at our country of residence, and how many days will it take, and what are the required documents?
You can find all required documents at the website of Ministry of Interior. About applying for extension. You're applying in the city where you're located. Once you have your visa, you're going to apply for a long-term permit, and this application is handled here in the Czech Republic directly, so you are not going home. You can do it here. Yeah.
Yes. And I was once refused for family reunification visa, for which I applied based on marriage with my girlfriend. Can this be a reason to be rejected second time in case we apply again?
There is always option of rejection. You just have to provide good documents they're asking for, and you wrote a marriage certificate with your girlfriend, so I hope it's wife already. If she's your wife and you have the marriage certificate, then there shouldn't be a problem, and you can of course apply again. The important is to have good interview at the embassy, and as well to have all the requirement document they're asking for.
Rest we have legal ones.
Okay, so there is one long one where like a lot of questions, so I'll go one by one. There are questions regarding reunification with family. My wife is Indian. What is the procedure to bring my wife here? I think I already mentioned it. As you are Indian, she will need to apply at the embassy in India. For family reunification, you will need to provide all the documents which we mentioned before. So you can check our video in archive if you missed it, and your marriage certificate legalized and translated into Czech is really important. What kind of visa? Yeah, it's a long-term visa with the purpose of family. How long the visa process would take? By law, they have 90 days, and we know that sometimes it's a bit longer, as the Ministry of Interior is having a bit of problems, and they're missing some officers here, but they are trying their best to answer as soon as possible. Yeah. Is there any quickest way? There is no quickest way. You cannot go around this. You just have to go as everyone else through the process at the embassy. And there is as well a question regarding residency in Czech Republic. How long should I stay in Czech to get permanent residency? I was studying in Prague for 2.5 years. As I mentioned before, you have to stay in the Czech Republic permanently 5 years, but be careful. There is difference between a study visa and other visas or permits after you extend it. If you've been studying 2.5 years, or just say it really easily. If you've been studying in the Czech Republic, your years are counting on half. So it means if you've been studying for 4 years, it's counting that you stay here in the Czech Republic for 2. So if you've been studying here for a while, you really have to count your years and just make sure that you are matching the 5. Yeah?
There's one more. I'm British. I moved to Brno in October, but I travel back to England fairly often, and I'm self-employed. I currently have temporary residence permit. I have 2 questions. Will I need any further permits in the future to be allowed to stay in Czech Republic? Second is, in 5 years' time, I'd like to apply for Czech Republic permanent residency. Do I have to spend a certain percentage of the year in Czech Republic, or I have to pay tax here in order to qualify Czech permanent residency?
So as you are British and you're asking if you will need any other permit here in the Czech Republic, yes, of course, just follow Brexit, as no one knows how it will go. So for sure you will need to change your temporary residency for something else, but we don't know at this point. And about the rest, about permanency, by law, you cannot leave the country to be able to apply for permanent residency for some period. It means they would need to be checked as well. There is 6 months, there is as well 1 year in certain years, like counting together the months, so the calculation is really tricky and it would be better to check it personally. So we have office as well in Brno, so you can just go and see my colleague Olda, and he will be happy to help you with this. And there was a small thing, and there was as well the tax in the Czech Republic. Well, if you're a freelancer and you're earning money just in the Czech Republic, you should do your tax here. It's not requirement to apply for a permanent residence permit, but it's just a law.
Yeah, we have the big one in this one. So
This one?
this one and this one is left.
Okay, so I will maybe briefly check it. There are like concerns. There is someone wife who is here as a family purpose with a validity until 2020, and the husband has an employee card. They arrived together. Okay. Well, first of all, if your wife has code 17, okay, there are questions about jobs, so I will need to check that later. Not later, but this is about visas and permits, not about jobs. Yeah, she has a permit. So he asked, like, she has a work permit and she has her long-term permit. It's like work permit and long-term permit, and it should be valid to the same date as her permit. So yes, you wrote it correctly. Okay, I think I won't go through this one because there are no general information for you. So to this guy I will answer, I think, via email, because there are really specific questions about his wife and some months. So I will not bother with this one. We can maybe go through this one. There is again a really long article. It's about a Colombian citizen whose father is Czech citizen, and her sister obtained Czech citizenship. Okay, so just to have just fast information about this, if your father is Czech citizen and but you are not, you have to be careful about your age. For example, if you're under 21, it's not a problem to apply for some permit to stay here in the Czech Republic. About citizenship, there are different requirements and different things which should be discussed personally or via email. Yeah. Don't leave anything here.
Okay, we have more questions from Facebook.
Okay, so now we're going through a question online which you wrote under our video.
Okay, we already answered this one. Do you know why Czech Embassy Kuwait didn't accept the employee card application?
Don't ask the employee card application. Well, they ask. I'm not aware of that. Some embassies not accepting application for employee cards. There can be maybe problem about getting appointment at the embassy, which we know that some embassies are really overloaded and it's really difficult to get an appointment. So you just have to keep trying or just get in touch with us. Maybe we'll be able to help you somehow. Yeah.
When applying for employment card at embassy, do you receive a visa and the card will be given in the territory of Czech Republic, or you will receive the work permit at the embassy in foreign country?
If you're applying for employee card and it's accepted, then you are receiving a one-way visa from the embassy, which will allow you to enter the Czech Republic, and then within 3 days you should go to the immigration office based on your address, and then you will go for your biometric and they will issue you a biometric card. Yeah, so this one is here in the Czech Republic.
How long does it take to take notification process? Can both process be made at the same time?
Notification. Yes, you can apply for notification. There are two different processes. Notification is done here in the Czech Republic, so if you need help with this, you can contact us. It can be handled based on power of attorney, so you don't have to be here personally. But if they ask you to pass some exams, then you may have some difficulties and you would need to come here on some Schengen visa. So it's really up to you if you want to start working on it in advance or after they approved your permit. You know, some countries are asking for this notification when they approve your visa. So there is no problem to start with it in advance. You will just need to prove that you have already address here in the Czech Republic.
We have next question from Sheetal. Are we allowed to do part-time job along with the permanent job?
If you have employee card, then yes, you can have trade license and you can have some side job, but it's going to be just side job. It cannot be bigger than your employment. Yes, so everyone is allowed to apply for this, and our office can help you with it as well.
Juliana is asking, when you come with your kids, do you need their birth certificate or passport is enough?
It depends if they need some visa or permit. It's always good to bring with you original birth certificate from your country, so in case you need it for anything, you don't have to contact your family or to travel back home. Make sure that you already have, for example, legalization of it, so as well you don't have to deal with it from here.
Hassan is asking how to apply for blue card after having an employee card for 3 years. Also, is it considered continue to employee card? Also, after 2 years, we can apply for permanent residency, or we have to wait for whole 5 years.
You can apply for a blue card. It's going to be different card because it's not extension of your employee card. Employee card is for all kind of jobs, but blue card is for higher management, and this, as well they have different requirements. I would advise to apply about extension and about blue card. This process is as well difficult. No, not difficult, we can handle it, that's for sure. There are just different things which should be discussed, and so we are happy to answer it. About the permanency, you always have to stay here for 5 years if you have employee card. If there is acceptation, if you have a Czech wife, then it's cutting to just 2 years.
Vibhor Goel is asking he asked before, so he's continuing his question. If I submit visa renewal application in Brno and I'm moving to Prague, and as it takes 3 to 4 months to approve application itself, then how can I inform them between this time? Also, do I need to fill some new form of information about new address and still under approval of procedures?
Yes. So of course you have to inform the ministry or immigration office that you change your address. That's obligatory. You really have to do it within 30 days. And as I mentioned before, they are just going to send your file from Brno to Prague and they will deal with it here. It doesn't matter that it's not approved yet, the process can be still going on, but you have to inform that you are not there anymore. In case they send you some letter or they are missing some documents, they know where to send it.
Do your company help with trade license for someone who cannot come to Czech Republic?
Yes, we can help you with trade license for business purposes. It means that if you are going to apply for a business visa at the embassy, you need to have temporary trade license, and it can be handled based on power of attorney. So just write us an email and we'll be really happy to help you.
Norwood is asking, I'm American. What if my spouse is really in the country with me on a 90 days visa? Can visa be obtained in Czech Republic?
As I mentioned before, this visa is not possible to extend here just for some specific cases. If you have some long-term visa or long-term permit or employee card, your wife can apply for family reunification but outside of the Czech Republic. As she is from the US, she can apply at any embassy outside of the Czech Republic. The thing is that if it will not be approved within 90 days as a tourist, she would need to leave the Schengen area. So that's why we are always advising to manage these things properly, and time management in this one is really important, because if you are coming here you need to apply as soon as possible so you get answer from the embassy within those 90 days.
Ankush is asking, can foreigner with the employee card also work part-time on weekends? Does the employee card allows that?
You should be allowed to work, but there are again different things about working for agency, about the salary, about the hours, so that's for deeper discussion, I would say.
I assume that I need register with the foreign police within 3 days, but I won't have a permanent address yet. Do I have to go back with my change of address before I apply for business visa?
Well, sorry, I will read again. Well, if you are going to apply for a business visa, then what was the name of Lorna? Okay, so I don't know from which country you are, so you're probably here as a tourist. And if you're going to apply for business visa, well, there is another thing. If you stayed in a hotel your first few days, then the hotel register at the foreign police, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you need to register yourself with some address within 3 days, you have to find an address.
David is asking, what happens in case I have a family visa but we broke up? My question is, can I apply for permanent visa after 5 years here? Is there a problem if I no longer have a relationship?
If your purpose was a relationship with some girl and you broke up already, this is really decision on a referee who will take care of your case. There are some cases they agree that person can stay here even after something like this happened, but this is really not up to us, you know.
No, he's continuing that I have gotten my criminal record, and can you help me with the services of translation and also getting a trade license for me, and that can be used for my business visa long term.
Of course, we can help you with translations, we can help you with trade license, we can help you with the whole process of business visa. Just get in touch with us and we'll be really happy to help.
Shalu is asking, is person having a long-term visa for a family purpose can apply for work permit from a labor office to start legal work?
Yes, you would need to get work permit from a labor office, so you would need to contact them and go through the requirement documents, and then they can allow, you need acceptation from them that you can work.
No is asking, can someone apply for residence when they come to Schengen?
Well, depends on your nationality. I think I mentioned it before. So if you're coming here just for a short-term touristic visa, then you cannot apply neither in the Czech Republic or in the Czech embassy outside of the Czech Republic. There are really just specific, just few countries who can apply on any embassies, but it's really specific question.
Ivan is asking, I'm inviting a friend from Philippines. Will it be helpful if I give them invitation letter, and do I need to have authentic invitation letter from the showing it to embassy when applying for the Schengen visa?
Yes, it will help. If you are inviting your friend, we can help you with invitation letter as well. It has to be the official letter from the foreign police, and they would need to have the original to provide at the embassy. Yeah.
Next question is, in case of internal move, other position in same company, should we inform immigration office?
Yes. Every change has to be you need to inform the immigration office. They need to know everything.
I'll just take time to.
There's a long question, and just to say, we will have just last 3 questions. So if you will ask anything after, we'll try to reply under it, or just write us email again, as I said, at our email address info@foreigners.cz. So then my colleague will forward it to office who can take care of your case.
And next question is Vibhor. So I have notified MOI office in Brno or Prague office that I have moved here, XYZ application number which I have submitted for the extension in Brno. So he's asking, should I inform in Brno or should I inform in Prague?
It depends on your address, on your lease agreement or proof of accommodation. If you have a lease agreement in Brno, then you are informing Ministry of Interior in Brno. If you have address in Prague, you are coming here to Prague.
Nor is asking, if someone arrives to Czech Republic for working purpose, we should inform police within 3 days about his address. So what if he still doesn't have an address in Czech Republic? Is that a problem?
Well, he needed to apply with some document at the embassy, so they're assuming that the person already has the address. This is really a tricky question and I cannot really answer because the person should have the address. If the person doesn't have the address, you have to find it as soon as possible, and if they're coming for employee card, the Ministry of Interior is issuing you the card with the address you provided to the embassy. You just need to provide the same document or at least a copy, or maybe they will not ask for anything at the Ministry of Interior, and then once you find it, you have to find it as soon as possible if you're not staying at the address, because it may be a problem for you and they can reject your visa or permit if they will not find you here. Or if you need help with finding an apartment, just contact us as well. And there's another service we are providing, so we are really able to help you with anything you need.
Yes. We have last two questions.
Mhm.
I'm already in 6th year here in Czech Republic. Can I take my son or any of my family members? How to do the procedures?
If you wanna get your son here, he has to be under 21 years, as he's considering as a child. If he's older, then there is not really possibility. Well, you can always apply for him if he's older than 21, or if you wanna bring here your, for example, parents, they can apply for long-term visa other with the purpose of family reunification, but not well. The purpose is other, but the main thing is that they need to be really in need of your help or your financial help, or if they have some disease. So if they don't have any, that is really difficult to bring them here. Last question.
I'm from Algeria, student in Turkey. Can I apply for study in Czech Republic?
If you have permit in Turkey, I mean, like, if you have permit in any country of Europe and you are not from that country, then you can apply at the embassy, but you need permit. The visa in the country is not enough. Yeah. So if there was, like, I think we had a few more questions, but we are running out of time. So thank you a lot for your question and being here with us. The question we didn't answer, we will try to answer under your question, under the video. So thank you again, guys.
And if you have any other question, you can always write us.
Okay, so the thing is, like, if you need help in Prague, so write us email at prague@foreigners.cz. If you need any help in Brno, we have as well special email brno@foreigners.cz. If you need help from any other city or you're not sure where to write, just write info@foreigners.cz. As well, our video will be on our head office page, so feel free to check it later. Yeah. So thank you for attending, and we will see you next month with another topic.
Yes. See you guys.
Bye.
Have a great time.
Yeah. Have a great evening.